God damn it, Matt. That's the end of the 2023 Detroit Red Wings season. Chewy is all over it. Rest in peace.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Red Wings Rant. We're tears and impassioned.
You guys, Matt really gave me a tease. I thought what he was going to do was bust out his trumpet from high school and actually play taps himself. That would have been awesome.
I'll finish the thing. I'll do the thing. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Red Wings Rant, where tirades and impassioned pleas for your Detroit Red Wings finally have a home. But yeah, Mike asked earlier today, are we just going to do 45 minutes? Did you actually ask for taps, or?
I didn't formally request taps, so I'm glad that you took the initiative and put that in there.
Yeah, it turns out, that's past the 50-year licensing thing, so we can totally play taps. Yeah, that's not a problem.
Yeah, just like Red Wings 2023 season, Blood and Honey, huh? Yeah. That's still relevant, right?
Yeah. Jared thrown out there, might just to throw people off with the time change. Yeah, we do apologize, everyone.
Yeah, I'm going to be out of town tomorrow, and we wanted to have the the moratorium for this Red Wings season. So it's all my fault, Jared. It's on me. My bad, bro. My bad.
Wait, I have to respond to Billy Sims here because Jared had a funny joke on Twitter about how we could finish with the same record with Jeffy B last year, and people, of course, have to tell us how hockey works. So, you know what, Billy? Screw you, man. Just calm down. We can have fun. I made the announcement the other night on Twitter. I said Red Wings Twitter is now just for jokes and hugs. There's no more analysis. There's no more, yelling at people for
it's just
liking
like
how
our show's comments are specifically for well-wishing that is much needed. So, Jared, I appreciate you asking about my good health. Thank you, sir.
Piece of garbage.
God bless you.
Dan B's aboard. Chewy, I was right. Wait, Chewy. Now we talk a lot. Which thing do you have in mind in particular that you were right about?
Rest in peace to the Wings season.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Oh, did you? So wait, Chewy, did you type that up before we even played taps? Because that would be cool. All right, yeah. So what are we doing today? We are. What did I title the episode again? I gotta pull it up. I don't even remember.
I thought it was
Red Wings and Yzerman look to the future.
That was my attempt. Yeah.
So the last time we all talked, this is last episode we did the recap of the full month of us leading up to the Hronek trade, and leading up to that we had
boatload animals. Yeah. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just trying to throw animals and write just a hello in there. Go ahead.
We did the recap of oh my God, this is happening, and then it was just getting closer and closer. And even before that, we actually had an episode that was dedicated to should we start doing draft analysis? So it happened so fast, and 1 month of good hockey took us into thinking we were ready for the playoffs and that we would try and make a push. Bertuzzi gets taken off the trade block, and then again, like I said, a week ago, we had our episode about Dylan Larkin's contract and Phil getting traded. And I think the last question we got from the episode was, is Bertuzzi getting traded tonight? And we were like, no. And he got traded the next morning. So it was pretty close. Boston. It's so funny. I was listening to Craig Custance and Sean Gentile talk about the Stanley Cup Finals. And granted, this is one of the highest percentages of chance to win we've seen in a few years. This is a very high number. It's still not that high when you think about it. But Boston's chances are at 38% right now to win the Stanley Cup. That's very high for a Stanley Cup champion.
Now, hold on. This is, which model is this?
This is the chances to win the Stanley Cup. It's probably Dom Luszczyszyn, because Sean Gentile and Craig Custance work for The Athletic. I thought there was going to be a follow-up after I answered that question. So yes, Dom came up with that percentage. And basically, for two reasons. Like, it's really cool that that's the highest number we've had in a while. And Boston is just putting together a playoff team. And I loved all the stories too that came out about Tyler Bertuzzi after he got traded to Boston. They're like, he's the playoff hockey player we've all anointed who's never played a playoff game besides, other leagues, AHL and juniors. But still,
this is all I wanted. I'm so sorry. Yeah. I just couldn't find it. I couldn't get it to load fast enough, and I didn't want to throw an in there. But I was just curious what Vegas said, and it's not. Obviously the Bruins have the lead, like for best odds, but it's plus 420.
Yeah, I mean, it's still Stanley Cup, right? Like
that number is good enough that I double checked the date, like to be like, oh, did this get revised? But yeah, as of 3 days ago, looks like they wanted to do something like post deadline plus 420. I feel pretty good about that money. I mean,
yeah, you should still win. You should still win something at this point, because there could be a lot of injuries, and like Boston. Whether or not they're doing some Tampa Bay Lightning cap crunching with putting Taylor Hall on LTIR. Regardless, I mean, Marchand's been in and out, and Bergeron's 1,000 years old, and Krejci could very well go down early, in the first or second round there, just from sheer, like, can the tennis balls make it onto the ice? Of course, I'm referring to they're walkers because they're old.
Yeah. Just for funsies. They also do have the Red Wings on here, and we're not in the bottom 10.
Nice.
We are number 11. So the bottom 10 is all plus 50,000. The Red Wings are plus 25,000, and that feels a little high. I'd say you could probably increase that quite a bit more and get some goofs to put some money on that. No
Righteous coming in. What's going on, Righteous? Still curious about my hot take from earlier this season. Johansson in the NHL before Edmundson. I remember falling in love with this hot take, Righteous. And if I'm remembering that incorrectly, I apologize. But I think we might have heard as much from Steve Yzerman on his press conference this week. That it's just, you're always trying to piece together what Yzerman is doing with the Yzer plan. And he's always so obtuse that it seems like he's talking us into circles, right? So that we can't figure it out. Somebody else mentioned, like, if you listen to Steve, he tells you exactly what he's doing. And when he was asked, is Edmundson coming up? He didn't say yes. And right there, if I go by this other guy's formula that kept bringing up like different instances where he was like, yeah, Steve never said we were going for the playoffs. Steve always said like these free agent signings were just for Seider, Larkin, and Raymond. He never said like, I'm doing this because we're going for the cup. We're going for the playoffs. And then here we are, post trade deadline. So anyway, this guy made point after point that was like that. And then he said, that's how you listen to Steve. You listen. He also was asked, is Edmundson coming up? And Steve said, well, did you look up and down the roster? And one of the names he threw out there without being asked was Johansson. So I think Righteous might hit the nail right on the head.
Yeah.
Just wondering who's going to get hurt first.
He had a couple opportunities, and it sounds like he is interested in just keeping Edmundson down there. So looks like we're going to have to be patient on that one, and Johansson will get the call up first. I'm glad that Righteous kept that receipt in his pocket, because that should pay out. We're going to have to figure something out for that, Righteous, besides bragging rights.
Yeah, did you put that one on DraftKings there, Righteous? Was that a prop bet? Who's coming up first, Edmundson or Johansson? Yeah, Danimals throws out there. The last couple of weeks have been a roller coaster. Craig throwing out there. Bert gets the cup. I've never seen. Can I just throw out there, as we do, like the start of our show is always like a mad scramble before we land on an actual topic. I've never seen more Tyler Bertuzzi content from the NHL in my whole, his whole career so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to showcase him when he's on a losing team. So it's kind of nice that he's on a relevant hockey club. So good for him. I thought that was a cute little video when he was going the wrong way in the locker room. And he put up an assist too in his first game. So looks pretty promising.
Danimal's calling me out here for the Boston Bruins are too old to make it through the playoffs, saying, aren't these all the talking points of when the Red Wings were a powerhouse? It's very true. Ken Young thrown out there. Could very well be on a 9-game losing streak by Sunday night.
Ooh, how you liking that 1 goal per game, huh? Pretty sexy.
I don't know. Chicago's looking like world beaters after they kicked the shit out of the Ottawa Senators 5-0. So
we do have to boot Oriental Patriot, by the way.
Oh,
got a little bot
I want to offer you a promotion for your channel. You know what? I can't because it's stupid Twitch. It's fine. It's Twitch. Nobody can see that shit.
And it stinks because right before that is so far a comment of the day from Patrick. Is it Hamos asking, why are you guys dressed the same? Is it a costume?
Are we both wearing all black?
Well, here's what I'm going to say, Patrick. We didn't do it on purpose, but because this is the end of the 2023 season, I thought it would be nice if we dressed in black, show some respect, as they lower the body into the earth, and that's about it. So yeah, if you want to change into black, I would approve.
I was wearing this shirt already because it's at work. I almost said Pride Week. Not Pride Week, like Team Spirit Week. That's what it is. And today was Sports Day, so I was like, I'll just go kind of subtle and wear my black. See, it's like the black Red Wings logo on a black shirt.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't find my Red Wings hat, and I found the black one, and I was like, hey, it'll be like we're in mourning. So there we go. Accidentally, on purpose.
Trying to get us back on track, too, is Dan B. just commenting, Yzerman is building for multiple winning seasons, not just making the playoffs this year. Have patience or become a Maple Leafs fan.
Oh, I would trade all of these trades for Maple Leafs roster right now.
Yeah, you just got to uproot them out of Toronto. That's the tough part. They've been very patient, almost not quite Detroit Lion patient, but pretty damn patient.
Yeah, that's the funny thing I kind of bring up. And Dan B, you're absolutely right. I'm not. I'm teasing. Like you hit the nail on the head. There was something I saw earlier this week that caused me to pause because I think we're asking for too much. And maybe I don't mean we, but there are fans out there that have this idea, and I'll share it here in a second, that the end game is the Stanley Cup. Like, clearly we want that, but don't we just want the team? Like, we want the Tampa Bay Lightning. Wouldn't we?
I don't know if it's my internet or yours, Matt, but it looks like I lost you for a second. The last thing I heard you say was you wanted to be the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yes.
Was that because you were trying to say like success over multiple seasons, not just one flash in the pan and then everybody leaves in free agency kind of thing?
Yes. But can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. That's what I was asking.
You're moving again.
I'm gonna turn off. Let's turn off the Wi-Fi, right? Oh, and I called my wife on accident.
Oh boy, Granddad, Wi-Fi what's going on over there?
I know. I can't believe I just did that. Oh no, I called the police.
Hello, Siri. Can you call Amazon to help me with this, please? I just want to see
you do the.
Look them all up.
I don't want Siri to call the police. Oh wait. Okay, that didn't happen. Anyway, what I was saying was like, I mean, even the Toronto Maple Leafs, like that's what we're trying to get to, right? Like we want to have the start of the season every year. We're like, all right, this could be the year, right? Like that's what we're trying to get to. Obviously, we all want a Stanley Cup, but like some people mentioned like, Steve Yzerman took over the Lightning in 2010, and he left before they even won a cup. And it's like, yeah, but like 2016, that team was pretty fucking great, and I'd kill for that team right now. So it's like there was a chance, and then of course they get they lose in the first round, like the next season, I think it was, or maybe the season after that, to the Columbus Blue Jackets. But and then
It's
they
not a
win the cups.
mystery. Yeah, I mean, look, all those teams have one thing in common, which the Red Wings
Right.
have not had, was drafting at the very top of the draft. Whether it's getting like a Stamkos, whether it's Penguins getting, was it 2 or 3 years in a row getting Crosby and Malkin and
Fleury, and yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could look
Like
at
Edmonton getting lucky with, didn't they have McJesus, and then they had Draisaitl almost, back-to-back years.
Yep.
Toronto getting Austin Matthews. That's what we need.
I will say this. Steve made a very good point when you kind of look back at like the Lucas Raymond year, right? Maybe we could have upgraded to a Stützle, right? But
or Lafreniere. He's been pretty hot the last couple.
He has,
couple
but I still feel okay about Lucas Raymond. Like he's still 20, so there's no like panic button here with those. But then there's like the teams like New Jersey right now.
Who? How did I not mention them in my winning the lotteries? Woo!
Right. Yeah, and the Rangers. I don't know why I poo-pooed that, but like, yeah, the Rangers and New Jersey both got some first picks, and now, yeah, they look pretty good. But anywhoozles, like, there's a lot of luck that's involved. Steve, again, took over Tampa. You know what? If you guys go look at those first-round picks after Steve takes over, this is more a side note. I'm not trying to make like a grand point about this. I don't know. They're fine.
Can I?
Great. But yeah, go ahead, Mike.
No, I Silver threw one in there, cashing in on those Bedard tokens. Mike, are we selling the farm, or is there hope? I call it. I know my audience right now maybe doesn't know a lot about NBA basketball, but I call it Indiana Pacer syndrome, when all you do is flounder and you don't win playoff series and you don't win lotteries. And we're in a terrifying spot because that's where the Red Wings are at. They're not the worst team, so they don't have great lottery odds. And no, they almost certainly are not making the playoffs, nor do we really see the point in it, just to see them get throttled by Boston in 4 games. So as far as, what we should be doing, oh, man, it's tough because I think it was Prashant Iyer was saying something about he was tooting his own horn about, I don't understand why we're making these marginal moves. If we're gonna try to have long-term success, does it make sense to sign these kind of middling free agents? But it's like, yeah, but we kind of thought we had something with Raymond and Seider and Larkin and Bertuzzi and Vrana. Like we thought all of this was going to pan out, so it made sense to go in on the Perrons and Kubaliks and stuff like that. So I'm not going to double down quite like that. But at this juncture, you can't flounder. If anybody feels like they have like a soft tissue injury that they want a game or two off for, please do that, because I don't see the value in doing anything else right now but losing. So, there's a couple other guys who aren't Bedard. It'd be nice to get him. Obviously, to wildly change the direction of your franchise almost instantly, right, when you pick them up. But, yeah, whatever you can try to do to move up in this draft, that's what you got to do. So, we traded basically professional NHL level talent at the deadline, and now at this juncture, the one guy that will probably never be able to talk that into is Larkin. Even though he is a company man, it would be a very difficult conversation to tell him to sit down for a little bit. But man, yeah, I be extra cautious with every little bruise, every little nick. that's really the only hope, I feel like, because it's not going to come in free agency. Everybody we were eyeballing is signed. You know, maybe we could find some sort of trade, but yeah, huge advocate for bottoming out as much as you can. And unfortunately, it is a lottery. It's, it's not, 15, 20 years ago. So, whew, you really need some luck.
Yeah, I accidentally ran into Steve Yzerman calling in on the ticket this morning because I never listen. I cannot listen to sports radio, but it was before my phone could connect to the vehicle. So 97.1 comes on, and Steve laid it on. This is where I heard him. He's talking to Stoney and whatever the hell his new show is, and he just said as long as the draft works out this way, it's going to be difficult for anybody not to just luck into being the New Jerseys, being the Rangers. And I think it might have been Dan B Patrick said Rangers are dummies trying to buy up the cup at the deadline. It won't work. I wouldn't necessarily want to be in the Rangers position long term, but you could see the positives in the short term. Last year, pretty close to the cup. I mean, this upcoming playoffs, Shesterkin turns it back on. You've got a Stanley Cup contender. Like it's that simple. And I think it was Dan B that threw it out there. Stamkos, Kucherov, Hedman, Vasilevsky. I'm not. We're equal to Tampa's starting point. I don't. We definitely didn't say that, but we're very far off from that. But yeah, to the point of Vasilevsky, you lock in a Vasilevsky. I mean, that Shesterkin and Vasilevsky, I still think is like a very different conversation. I would put Vasilevsky on my Mount Rushmore of goaltenders, but how do I want to put this? I mean, it's just you got to put some more in the chamber so that when you're ready to load up, you have some firepower. And damn it all to hell, it's just we didn't have enough. We talked about it last week, and last week we at least were able to talk about those two losses to Ottawa, but Steve talked about it too in this past week, and it was just kind of like you're presented the situation, and maybe there's a conversation of wanting it more, which that always makes me angry. It's hard to argue with when you see the result of the Ottawa-Detroit games last week, but you take that out of the equation if you want and just look at the results. I mean, we got our asses kicked, and that was maybe show me what you got, and it didn't work out great. So it's just, I know we started this point and we've kind of gone off in like 3 different directions here, but ultimately I'm happy we did this. I'm disappointed that things didn't work out to where we were going to be talking about playoff hockey up until mid-April. But absolutely, this was the right choice. This was the if anything, we might have been a little bit late on Bertuzzi. The return is fantastic. First round and a 4th round. Definitely Boston would be betting on getting the Bertuzzi that scored 4 goals against Tampa versus the Bertuzzi of this season, which is fine because Bertuzzi's been injured. But again, that's exactly where it's a good turnout. But you kind of wonder what could have happened if we sold Bertuzzi a little bit earlier. But no, yeah, I mean, those things you could go back and forth on, but I think ultimately this is like a win. And we haven't really gone through all the trades yet. I don't know if you want to do that real quick, Mike, and then come back.
Yeah, let's throw them out there, and then I think we can maybe tie a bow on this one, and then talk about some nice things that happened recently too.
So yeah, it's Vrana was early. That was trade deadline morning, right?
Yes, that's right.
Vrana gets moved to St. Louis for a 7th round pick and Dylan McLaughlin. So clearly this was Steve getting rid of Vrana. Phil, we already talked about 1st round pick, originally New York Islanders pick. I think we can get up to the 13th. And if it goes past that, then it's moving to 2024 and a 2nd round pick. And then Sonny bidding us adieu. 4th round pick from Minnesota. Oh, gave it away. So yeah, that's those are that's all of our boys getting shipped out, and it's
Yeah,
it's
I
a
mean,
sign
listen,
of
I don't think that with the situation, you probably did the best you could do. Was it Chikrin in Arizona, basically fetching the exact same like draft return that Hronek did? So that's some real wizardry, right, by Yzerman. Getting some sort of first round pick, um, for Bertuzzi, a guy who's going to be a free agent. That's a win. But winning these trades is still a very crushing blow, knowing that, yeah, like even listening to Lalone himself, making comments about, when we've been on this, losing streak that doesn't appear to be ending anytime soon. And the first, God, it was 2 games ago where he made mention about injuries, and then the next game he made mention of injuries, and then essentially saying we're down some talent, which I don't know if he's going to get reprimanded by that privately or they're going to tell him there has to be a better way for you to say that. But he was essentially conceding that, yes, we gave up pretty important players, to this season's success. So it is a true loss to not have Hronek, Bert, the ideal Vrana, and Sonny, who, is a real positive contributor on this team. So yeah, I mean, it really puts Lalone in a spot, and kind of feels like he's got a free pass the rest of this season. You can't really.
Yeah.
I don't know how you really count it against him now, because now that's a pretty barren roster. It's Larkin and the Pips, as we like to say. But
Yeah, it does. That is something too that we'll get into as the weeks go on. Like, does it make sense for Hansen to get called up, or Edvinsson, or Soderblom, who's struggling to like stay in the lineup every night? I just, do you want to keep them in a position where those games matter a little bit more? I don't know. I don't even know how the Griffins are doing. Actually, I shouldn't speak to that, but obviously there's going to be a different game played when you call those guys up as opposed to what they're trying to do in Grand Rapids.
I think it's one last thing on like the next like collective bargaining agreement for the league is to kind of figure out how they want to treat like the red shirt guys, where you lose your years of eligibility when you do get called up to the NHL. Because if I wish they could find a way to kind of bend on that rule so that when there are teams, that whole bottom third of the league starting after the trade deadline, it's basically unwatchable hockey. So I got to think TNT is scrambling to find some way to, like, get rid of that Blackhawks Red Wings game coming up.
Right.
Because they're trying to showcase the league this year, and they have 2 absolute toilet tanking teams who have no interest in winning. But I guess just to get back to the point from a second ago is it's where I wish they could revise the rules a little bit, and you wouldn't lose years of eligibility by calling up, prospects. So we could fill out this NHL roster a little bit, let these guys, kind of get a feel for real stadiums and NHL travel and games and practices and things like that, instead of, worrying about, AHL playoffs or, what have you.
It's actually for the players, so I'm okay with it. They get closer to making real money, so
it doesn't make for a fun fan experience, though.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
Neither
it's
does the
basically
NBA. Oh,
well, the NBA. That's funny you bring that up, because now they have
damn it.
what? They have 15 teams, right, in each conference, and now they
Yeah.
have that play-in tournament. And the Red Wings would still kind of be right on the cusp of that play-in tournament.
I was still doing like over the last couple of games, I was still doing the math, and like Ian Mendez of The Athletic, I like The Athletic, on his podcast was still throwing the Red Wings in there for playoff eligibility, and it's cute. It's cute. Jared thrown in there. Griffins are in last place in the division. Season over for the Griffs. So yeah, bring them up then.
Bring them up.
Let's see. There was something else. Oh, I did want to clarify. Dad B threw out there. I wasn't criticizing earlier when he was bringing up the Tampa Bay Lightning. Just pointing out those complaining that the Wings aren't in a position to compete. Yeah, I never think I got to finish that thought either. But I just like when I brought up the Tampa Bay Lightning earlier. Like that's what I want to shoot for again. Like obviously we all want the cup, but there's a few teams who have been sniffing the cup for a few years now that I would be okay, switching with them. Winning the cup takes a lot of luck, takes a lot of goaltender luck. You got to make sure nobody gets hurt. There's so many things involved besides just having a winning regular season. So I just want those winning regular seasons. And I'm going to be bummed as fuck when we don't win the cup every year when we get to that point. But that's what we want. We want to get to that point. So I brought that up only because I saw somebody mention it, like saying like, see, we're still a good 5 years out before we win the cup. And it's like, no, we can't. Like, can we shoot for like playoff competitiveness? Like, I don't want to, I don't want to play this game where we shoot for the cup. Cause didn't it take like Jimmy D and his team like 14 years to win the cup? So let's not make that like we want it, but let's I want Steve to build me a Tampa Bay Lightning and then the cup will come with chances in the playoffs. I don't know. It just seems like it's got to be so goddamn lucky. And you got to cheat sometimes with the salary cap. I don't know. Just forget it. Nobody cares. All right. We're going to do Jared a solid here. You guys know Jared. You love him. And Jared did us a solid is what I should say. But Jared made us a little video we could wrap up the trade conversation with. And, well, yeah, Jared made this little ditty for us.
We're real bond, cause we're brothers first. Cause we're been through a lot, but it ain't over. We gon' keep it.
You'll always be with me.
Change the game without even knowing.
And you'll always be my brother.
How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side. And now you gon' be there for the last ride. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got?
All right. Well, now we're definitely getting removed from YouTube. I forgot about the music.
I think
there.
the best thing about that video is that if you showed it to Larkin, he'd probably burst into tears.
Speaking of which.
Oh no! Damn you and your segues, man.
Yeah, for anybody not watching on YouTube, I brought up the picture of Dylan Larkin at his contract extension press conference. Mike, do you think Larkin... I'm not playing a game here. Do you think Larkin was happy to sign this contract?
I think he was.
Yeah, I'm not playing a game, right? He was.
I just wish they didn't, sign him and then wait for the ink to dry and then trade his best friend in the whole world.
Right. And then the next morning you have to do a press conference. It is a horrible move.
Yeah, that was
if
torture. I don't know how somebody in public relations couldn't figured that out when they found him sobbing in a fetal position and said, "Come on, bud, we got a big interview coming up." Like, no.
Now, there's two aspects of this conversation because this got really hot yesterday on Twitter, so I wanted to bring it up and make sure that my take on this, and Mike, I'm sure you share this. I cry all the time, and I love that Dylan Larkin.
The time.
Yeah. I love that Dylan Larkin loves Tyler Bertuzzi that much. He loves the sport this much, and he loved what was the team that much, and now he's going to fall in love with a new team. I love all of that, and it's great for him to be that connected with his emotions. I don't mind he does it. I don't think they needed to put that on TV, and that's my problem. My man struggling through some stuff. And basically when I asked you, Mike, do you think he was happy with it? I was like, what are you really going to get out of this press conference, but trying to push him and make him upset?
I think Jared's next video should probably incorporate Steve and Rick James playing Cold-Blooded, just looking at poor Larkin. But yeah, this is a rough moment. Like, I felt bad for Dylan, but then was also angry on his behalf. So quite a few
Yeah.
emotions.
That's a good one to call out there. All right, so we have another video we're going to share with you guys, but it's your least favorite one. We'll be right back after we both gave our hot takes.
Oh man, not a commercial.
Don't be mean to the captain, but we'll be right back. The action never ends at DraftKings Sportsbook, especially after the Super Bowl. You guys think it's all over, but there's tons of ways to bet on all your favorite sports. You can fuel your fandom and feel the heat of the season like never before. Right now, DraftKings Sportsbook is giving new customers a risk-free bet up to $1,000. That's right. Make your first bet up to $1,000, and if it doesn't win, you'll get another shot to cash in. You can throw down on all the major action for the NBA, obviously for the NHL. Golf's going to get rolling. We've got same-game parlays, spreads, money lines, over-unders, and props for you to bet on. It's honestly, it's going to feel endless to you. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. You can deposit, withdraw your cash whenever you want. I promise, I've done it myself. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code THPN and make your first deposit and get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. That's promo code THPN, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
All right, and I did want to catch up on a few comments there too.
Yeah,
Irvine Poker, what's up, Irvine? Saying I was all set to go watch the Wings in Winnipeg on the 31st, but now I don't even feel like it because now they were making a playoff push, and they traded Bertuzzi. He was my favorite Red Wing.
Oh, Irvine, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, and I mean, it's gonna be. I'm probably done going to pay for live games in person for the rest of the season. I'll maybe tune in and watch Jimmy Howard embarrass himself in between periods on the TV broadcast.
This is something I couldn't decide if I wanted to put in, and now I'm going to improvise and say, let's make it a part of the show. But like anybody that's mad at any Red Wings fan who wanted this playoff push and like was disappointed after the trade deadline of basically being told by Steve, like, yes, team I did not think we were making it to the playoffs. So when I saw my chance, I took it. Like, there's a reason that he gets, and we love Steve. Don't get me wrong, but there's a reason he does have to go out there and do this press conference. And it's because they want us to keep buying tickets. Like, Steve has to make that comment. Like, I get it. I know why you guys are frustrated, but here's my plan. It's because they can't have us lose hope. But it's all like, I hate to say it. It's all PR and marketing. Like, it's just like, oh man, I swear guys, there's a play in here. And there is, trust me. But the reasoning behind saying that over and over is because they need us to keep buying tickets while this team wasn't ready to win anything. Maybe that's obvious to everyone. I just want to throw that out there. Like, of course it's frustrating for fans who did want to see it go a little bit further. So I think if anybody's out there and you feel the need to yell at another fan who's disappointed, just don't. There's no point in telling someone that they need to stop being disappointed. I've seen a lot of it this week. It's such a weird like stance to take. Like, stop being upset. You should have known better. And like, we all went into the season and kind of knew, but like, give it a rest.
Yeah, I wouldn't put too much thought into that. Those are just kind of dummies. I mean, it sucks.
Yeah.
Because it's not just, hey, we got these first round picks coming up. This isn't like, the NBA or the NFL where the first round pick is going to immediately make a difference outside of Bedard. Like, we're not going to see that guy for probably a couple of years. So it's not just that this year sucks and next year, probably a couple of years after that. So it's quite a pushback on the old timeline there. So yeah, it really is emotionally a lot to take in as a fan, realizing that you're probably not going to enjoy competitive Red Wing hockey for, I don't know, maybe 2-3 years to be optimistic from right now.
I did see another argument on Twitter. It was like, guys, we're 3 to 5 years out from being a winner. And somebody like shared like the like a post
the same comment from 3 to 5 years ago. Yep.
It's like, no, we're not hitting the reset button. I think in reality, like Steve knew it was going to be long. That's why he never said
Let's
it.
just talk about some
But
more
it is-
smart, shrewd trades for another terrible Red Wing power play.
Jared thrown out there. I'm glad I didn't go to the game in Philly. Had a feeling. Oh man, Philly lost. Whew. Remember when we were talking? Like I said, oh, there's a chance we could just run off 4 in a row here. Did not.
The real quick too, Righteous 247. The media is relentless. Seeing it live was something. I'm
Oh,
the reason I wanted to jump on that
Larkin.
comment was you were talking about keeping fan interest on the game, and the last game we lost. Mickey Redmond, you could tell on the headset they said, say something about the playoffs, and he's like, well, gang, not completely out of that playoff picture. And I just felt so bad. Like, come on, man. Why don't make him do that? That's like when poor Michael Cole for WWE had to keep saying the WWE network. Like that's his. That's poor Mickey saying playoffs this season. It was rough.
That is like the family photo in the frame, and the divorced father is like gonna sneak in like his own picture he took by himself at JCPenney, and he's just like, I'm still in there. Like that. You're not a part of the family anymore. You're done. Sorry, I don't know where that came from. My family's fine. I swear, everyone. All right. This is weird. So we could make this short if we don't want to get too negative towards the Red Wings. But this was weird. I don't know if everybody saw this. This is about Armstrong and the St. Louis Blues talking about picking up Vrana. It was a good ad for us, Armstrong said. He got traded to Detroit, had some off-ice issues that he's not running from, and we're not running from. He's looking forward to a fresh start to his career, and we're looking forward to giving him that. Armstrong said the Blues did their due diligence on Vrana and saw no reason to give up on him. The club sent a 7th-round pick in 2005, blah, blah, blah. We did our research, and you understand the risk, but there's probably a lot of players that have those risks. We don't even know have them. I don't want to get too much into it because I don't know the exact things, but I'm a big believer in second chances. Oh my God.
Now, I don't understand your take. Can you defend that before you laugh at it? What's going on?
This, I don't know. Like, doesn't this feel like he's running Steve into the ground? Like, Steve gave up on Vrana with his own pick.
I wouldn't go that deep. I think they're basically just trying to defend their own move, like to give up any kind of asset for this guy when you could have had him for free. Because I don't think that it's fair to say that Yzerman didn't give this guy a second chance. With all the injuries he's had, we've arguably given him 3, 4, 5 chances, 6 chances, and it just, never really panned out. We had a few flashes where he had some exciting goals, and it didn't work.
That's a much more positive way to read this, because I read it and I was like, wow, she's taking a huge dump on Steve here.
Yeah, because I think the Armstrong comment, it's just not including, like, it's only focusing on when he was removed, and the whatever happened that we can't talk about. But I mean, there was a lot about his game that the Wings wanted him to evolve, and he was kind of doing it, but not really. He was injured a lot, and I've been starting to get behind the idea that we almost have to treat your ability to actually play the games and not be injured as a skill. And as skilled a goal scorer as he can be, he's not very skilled at staying on the ice. So, we didn't give him one shot and then kick him out. This is the 3rd season we've had this guy. That's unbelievable to me.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. It feels like we just got him and he's gone. This is the 3rd season he's been in Detroit. So, Armstrong, he's kind of missing a lot of context there. We've given this guy opportunities.
He's being obtuse as well with all of these comments. So that's probably a sign. Like, once you start being safe, like, you're right. It's probably more of a defensive position. But yeah, when I first read that, that's where my head took it, and I was like, wow, all right, okie dokie. But yeah, it does look like Vrana's getting those shots on the power play in St. Louis. So I that's one I'm going to keep an eye on. I'm rooting for Vrana. Maybe from a fan take on Vrana, and I was a huge fan of watching him rip pucks in the back of the net. I was super bummed to see him go, but I think when you heard Steve Yzerman speak too, when he said it was time for both sides to move on, I think that's probably as far as we need to take it, right? From an analysis standpoint, if our GM's just like, yeah, we both wanted to move on.
Somehow gets healthy all of a sudden and starts staying on the ice and scoring goals, maybe this will be a little, redemption for, like us getting Wallman, so maybe it won't be so bad for them. It'll be a little trade ski there that kind of evens those out a little bit.
Mike, how familiar are you with Sonny in Philadelphia?
About a C+.
Shoot. How familiar are you with what Connor Bedard looks like?
About a F. Well, you got a comparison where he looks like a Sonny in Philadelphia character?
Yeah.
All right, what do you got?
Hey!
I
think Connor Bedard looks like Liam McBoyle, and he's just the young kid version
Westworld
of it.
in there too. He was the first guy to take us into Westworld.
But that's like cool, right? Like kind of gunslingery, Like I wanted to bring up the guy that drinks warm milk all day, and I'm about to say makes out with his sister. It's funny. I don't know. All right. Well, this isn't going anywhere.
I think he kind of looks like a mashup of Larkin and Cider, to be honest.
If we end up getting Bedard, I will never not see it. Every time I see Bedard, this is all I think.
What's his name? Liam
McBoyle.
Yeah, we got to get that guy season tickets to really confuse people,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got to get to know each other. All right.
Dan Bean, he's got Rasmussen eyes.
What else is going on? Well, with all the bad news, Sebastian Cossa is 7-0 in his last 7 games.
Old Mr. Bust himself, huh? Yeah, how about them apples? How do you feel about that?
It turns out when you tell everybody that it takes 5 years for your goalie to.
Oh no, man!
God damn it,
man! Are you using Xfinity? What are you using over there?
Are we back?
Yeah, you're back.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah. Are you using Xfinity?
No, it's Spectrum.
There you go. Everybody, don't get Spectrum unless you like what's happening to Matt.
Don't get Spectrum. I hate Spectrum.
If you want to be like Matt, you want to be frozen with a weird expression like.
Anyway, he's 7-0, 969 save percentage, 3 shutouts. I thought it was pretty cool in his last when he hit this mark. He was actually 24 hours. He played 2 games, which is just crazy for a goaltender. Like less than 24 hours, especially at his age too. Maybe I shouldn't say that because sometimes junior hockey's a little crazy. But with the ECHL, you figure they have a big enough pipeline that you don't need a guy to play 2 games in 24 hours. But anyway. Danby thrown out there. He's all washed up. Steve should have traded Cossa. Danby's kidding, of course. Oh, that's it. I don't know why. So this is just going. The studio's just absolute shit right now. The comments aren't loading up for me. Now it looks like Mike's frozen.
Oh no, I'm not frozen. I'm processing what you said. But we did have a few. Oh no. Oh, Jared Shaw. Okay, I totally confused your comment there when you said Jared Goff, Ryan Gosling syndrome. Yeah, okay, yeah. And then Crimson Shadow. Can we just call up Edmondson and Johansson already? Way better than having Dollar General Lindstrom and Robert Ragg. I don't think that's. I think you might have missed it a little bit earlier in the show, Crimson. We love the idea, but. From all indications, it looks like Steve's going to keep Simon down. And we see a little smoke with Johansson based on some recent Yzerman interviews, but I think we're going to have to. We might get a cameo, but I don't think we're going to get him for like the last 20 games or anything.
Well, you're getting another cameo of Matt real quick here before I freeze again. Can you hear me?
Yes, your audio is working. Yes.
Let's let's wrap it up. I don't know what's going on with the internet. I'll have to unplug everything and replug it back in. We've been losing power like crazy with all the storms. So I apologize, guys, but we're going to wrap up a little early here. Just go ahead, check out the few slides we didn't get to. Amadeus Lombardi playing his nuts off, hit 40 goals. He's at 41 now for the Flint Firebirds. And Carter Mazur, I thought would be an interesting discussion, only because Steve threw out there that's going to be his choice, Carter's choice, to make the move if he feels like it. But pretty good numbers coming from the University of Denver. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Sorry again for the technical difficulties. I feel like piece by piece, get audio figured out, video figured out. Jared's given us free stuff to like share during episodes. And before, I'm going to be mid explaining this and then I'm going to freeze again. And Mike's just going to have to wait till I come back to end the show. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to share one more thing. I'm sorry.
Uh-oh. Matt's sharing one more thing. Silver, don't go yet. Matt's got something.
I thought
it might just be taps again. I don't know.
No, just one more happy thought.
Okay.
Would be pretty sweet if the Red Wings grabbed the University of Michigan product as the number 2 draft pick. Of course, everybody, this would be hashtag cut off your willy for Adam Fantilli. Wouldn't this be pretty cool for the Detroit Red Wings and the Detroit Lions to kind of build their new core? And they both have a number 2 pick. I'm just saying we wouldn't draft Fantilli with the number 1 pick, so that's why it would be the number 2.
Guys, you heard it here first. If the Red Wings win the lottery,
trade back.
Matt is going to cut off his willy. It's going to be exciting. We're going to have it live for you guys.
I think I could still do that on TikTok. So yeah, we'll get a TikTok going.
Red Wings Rant is going to open an OnlyFans. It's going to be pretty cool.
Jared really liked our picture of Mazur. Yeah, it didn't fit because he has too many stats. And I'm lazy. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in on our off day. We'll see you guys next Wednesday. Thanks for coming. You guys have a good one.
Nick, send us out with taps.
Oh man, it takes a minute.
All right, I got it. Wait, that's turning into the.
Yeah.
I forgot the tune already. All right, we'll
yeah, that was a good way to end the show.
We'll try it next week.
See you guys.
See you guys.